headphones off.
Hey guys, welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel. It is Talk Random Podcast. You get me? It's called Podcast now. Yeah, double O in that. So today, what are we gonna be doing, Harper? What exactly are we gonna be doing?
Today we're reacting to the man himself. What's his name?
Suharto. I think that's
Suharto.
how it's
And
pronounced.
how he single-handedly, brick by brick, road by road, built Indonesia.
Do you think he actually did any physical work? I don't know. We're gonna find out. That's what we're here to do.
We are going to find out. Maybe he just got slaves from Philippines. Philippines Big L. Leave a comment and leave an L in the comments if you hate the Philippines. Subscribe if you hate Philippines.
That is crazy. You know?
They hate Philippines. Alright, let's get right into it, guys.
Cheers to that.
Indonesia's Suharto is a figure often associated with numerous controversies. He has been labeled as oppressive and corrupt. Throughout his tenure, he suppressed political opposition and dissent, facilitated human rights abuse.
That's not a good thing.
Okay, guys, so he isn't exactly how I thought. I thought he was gonna he's gonna be a super nice guy and he helped all the poor people and he was like president or something for a
That's
while.
what I thought too, bro. That's what I thought too.
Yeah, okay, guys, I didn't realize that he was like a dictator, oppress the people, corrupt and so. But this is about how he built Indonesia.
Yeah, it's
So
still,
I don't
it's
know
still
how
a
he turned that
historical
around.
lesson we all should know. You know, we should all have this historical
That's
lesson.
true. It's an important video for everybody.
What's that thing? The thing you learn in history? Something about mistakes.
Learning from your mistakes.
Yeah, learning from your mistakes. So we're gonna learn from his mistakes.
We'll see.
Good point. Go on.
Let's see what this guy did.
And enabled the military to exert significant influence over politics and the economy. Suharto's family and close associates faced accusations of rampant corruption, while his government was criticized for its lack of transparency and accountability. Despite these issues, Suharto is also recognized for his role in developing Indonesia's economy. Many Indonesians credit Suharto for fostering stability and economic growth during his extended period of.
But look, this is the thing where we also learn where economic growth increases, but so does economic inequality.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if I'm saying it was something like that, like something bad, you know? You're increasing economic growth, but what about the bad stuff as well? You're also increasing it. So
Yeah, he made the country economically stable and better, but at what cost? At the cost of the people.
that's exactly what I was trying to say, but you said it in a better
And
way.
happiness.
Authoritarian rule. They believe that this new order government
And probably the
effectively
environment.
guided Indonesia through a turbulent era of political unrest, instability, and economic underdevelopment that followed the country's independence from the Netherlands in 1949.
Wait, I didn't know this.
What?
Tell me,
That it
you
was
guys were
colonized.
colonized as well. I get wrecked, bro.
Wait, what?
They were colonized.
Yeah.
So was I, so I can't say much. So were you, bro. Shush. Brother, you're both the colonizer and colonized.
Yeah.
So am I actually. Wait,
Yeah, that's true. Portugal and Angola. And Portugal and Brazil.
yeah, fair enough. We should. What is this?
Political regimes.
What does that
So
mean?
did he colonize Africa? What's happening here?
That's what I'm saying.
actually
What
lost
is
track.
this?
1985. Autocracy. 2012.
Oh, it's political government.
Yeah, it's a type of government.
So Angola, we got better. Let's go.
Jeez, that's bad, bro. It's
Wait, we're
closed
still a
autocracy.
closed democracy.
That's horrific. That's bad. Even Somalia is better.
Fuck Somalia.
1997 to 1998, Indonesia's gross domestic product, GDP, a measure used to evaluate an economy's
Also, guys, if you're wondering why I knew that Netherlands was already that had colonized Indonesia, that's because of our friend Andreas. We featured him in another video. He lived in Indonesia, and if you want to see us reacting to Indonesia together with him, an Indonesian, check out the video at the top of the screen. Little card there. Enjoy, guys.
Health grew from approximately 5.6 billion to over 227 billion by 1996. However, after the Asian
Point, however, is crazy. Point, however,
yeah, how much was it? 5.6 billion to 227 billion.
Damn.
That's a 1,000% increase right there.
And this is all him, right? This is all Suharto.
1,000% increase, yeah. His dictatorship.
God damn.
That's 300% increase a year.
This guy is crazy.
Not 300. That's 33% increase a year.
Billion by 1996. However, after the Asian financial crisis and Suharto's departure, it plunged to a low of $99.5 billion. Despite his reputation as a harsh ruler, Suharto undeniably built Indonesia's economy from scratch. He laid the groundwork for Indonesia's present-day economy, which, as of 2021, amounts to over $1.19 trillion. This is noteworthy when compared to Zimbabwe, an African country with a GDP of $1.4 billion in 1967, which had grown to just under $8.5 billion by 1996. While Indonesia may have already been ahead, the stark contrast in growth compared to African regimes is hard to ignore. Notably, Zimbabwe was under the rule of Robert Mugabe, widely regarded as one of the world's worst dictators. So how exactly did Suharto shape the Indonesian economy? At the core of this transformation were economic policies, the fundamental components of how a government manages a country's development. Suharto implemented a variety of economic strategies, ranging from attracting foreign investments and promoting export-oriented industrialization to building infrastructure and
he's like a bad guy, but he's like a good guy too, though.
He was a necessary bad guy. A bad guy necessary for Indonesia to develop.
Because if you compare it to like the what's he called? Democrat?
Mugabe?
No, what's he called? What is political status?
Suharto?
No, what's his political status?
Dead. What's his status?
In 1980, bro. In 1980, what's it called? His Democrat. No, it was like the one. Dictator. Yeah, okay. Because he's like a good dictator. We have like bad dictators like Mugabe.
Yeah, that's true.
And like other African countries, like literally, they're in the presidency just to steal money. He's actually here trying to make money for everyone, in a way.
Yeah, true. I mean, he was a dictator, but he did good.
I'm still trying to see the bad. I'm not hearing bad things exactly right.
That's true. That's true. So far, only good things. He just made the country really rich and grow economically.
And devising monetary and fiscal plans, among other measures. Additionally, his approach to crony capitalism played a significant role, as it enabled select Indonesians, predominantly Chinese Indonesians, to rise from poverty to wealth. Suharto's economic model focused on a more balanced combination of income derived from primary resources and industrial production. Under his leadership, the country demonstrated competent economic management, a comparison between he was surrounded by individuals who had, and he had great faith in the power of their ideas. In sharp contrast, a prominent general from the 1945 generation characterized Suharto as, quote, a down-to-earth regional commander with little interest in Western concepts and even less patience for those in his circle who embrace them. Suharto's impact on Indonesia's economy is most evident when looking at how he reversed Sukarno's economic collapse. At the end of Sukarno's reign, the country faced negative growth, 600% inflation, no foreign reserves, and a national debt exceeding $2 billion. Upon assuming power, Suharto and his team implemented various macroeconomic stabilization measures that rescued the nation from economic catastrophe. New policies aimed at revitalizing the economy laid the groundwork for accelerated industrial growth. The foreign trade regime was liberalized, granting better access to essential raw materials and capital goods for the industrial sector. Early indications of the new order's commitment to fostering the private sector were apparent. A new investment law enacted in 1966 was accompanied by import and tax concessions, making Indonesia more appealing to foreign investors. The combination of improved conditions, underutilized capacity, and high domestic demand spurred industrial growth from the early days of the new order's economic management. Additionally, it is essential to recognize the significant impact of rising oil prices in the 1970s on Indonesia's prosperity. Oil was an extremely profitable industry in Indonesia, and the crude oil that the country sold for less than $3 per barrel skyrocketed to over $30 per barrel by 1980. Between 1970 and 1981, oil export revenues increased at a rate of 45.8%.
What?
I didn't know Indonesia had the interest in oil production.
Yeah, me neither. I know that they import oil. I didn't know they also produce
But that's
it.
confusing because if they're selling, why are they importing?
Yeah, I don't know. The UK also exports energy, but also imports energy.
What? It makes no sense, bro. Wait, no, wait, bro, wait. It makes no sense. What you buying energy when you can just produce it for yourself and cheaper?
I don't know, man. I just know the facts.
That makes no sense.
They export it to Australia,
Even
Indonesia.
dumber. How?
Oh, they're right next to each other.
Sorry. What country and what country?
Indonesia exports oil to Australia,
Oh, I thought you said UK.
and they import it from Arabia.
I don't know. That makes sense. Now go on.
Right, now put that meme. The more you know.
5%. Oil and gas represented 37% of total export revenue in 1970, and by 1981, this proportion had risen to 82%. During this period, the country's GDP growth rate averaged 7 to 8% per year. The role of oil in Indonesia's overall growth not only supported foreign reserve earnings, provided an alternative source of affordable electricity, and reduced reliance on imports and external shocks, but also since the oil sector was predominantly state-controlled. Revenues from oil were then channeled into infrastructure development in the 1970s and 1980s.
He's using the money.
Furthermore, Japan initiated numerous investment projects in Indonesia, estimated to be worth around $132 million in 1969, further fueling infrastructure spending.
132 million.
Overall, under Suharto's rule,
What? Bro,
revenues from oil were then channeled into infrastructure development in the
I heard that.
1970s and 1980s. Furthermore, Japan initiated numerous investment projects in Indonesia, estimated to be worth around $132 million in 1969,
Why?
further fueling infrastructure spending. Overall, under Suharto's rule from 1967 to 1998, Indonesia experienced significant economic growth and development. This period was marked by improvements in gross domestic product, poverty reduction, agricultural development, foreign direct investment, and infrastructure, as well as efforts to control inflation. To elaborate further into Suharto's economy, let us dive into 5 important indicators. First, let us go into the country's GDP. Suharto's tenure saw a remarkable increase in Indonesia's GDP, which grew from approximately $5.6 billion in 1967 to over $227 billion in 1996.
wait, bro. Remember that thing? GDP per capita. What is that?
GDP divided by the number of the population.
Okay. But
Oh yeah, the one that you made me mess up the formula for, huh? Huh?
Yeah, let's just move on.
Growth can be attributed to a combination of sound economic policies, a focus on industrialization, and the efficient utilization of the country's vast national resources, including oil and gas. The economic growth during this period helped Indonesia to become one of the largest economies in Southeast Asia. Secondly, Suharto's economic policies and development programs led to a significant reduction in poverty rates.
Ukraine is just
Yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below what you guys want us to react next, and let's go.
Investments in education, healthcare, and social welfare programs contributed to improving the overall standard of living for many Indonesians. As a result, the percentage of the population living below the poverty line declined, and millions of people were lifted out of poverty. According to USAID data, Indonesia's poverty rate decreased from 50.6% of the population living in poverty to slightly below 11.3% by 1996. Thirdly, during Suharto's rule, Indonesia...
Crazy facts.
Wait, I think we're just overlooking 50%. Bro, 50%. And poverty, you know what poverty is? It's not...
That is actually crazy. Already less than $1. Less than what? $2? $3? $2.75?
$3.
$3.
$3.
A day. I could do that. Guys, check into the next video. Living on $3 a day. In Brazil versus in Portugal. That's gonna be next video, guys.
I won't be able to
stay tuned.
I will die
that's the video after the ultimate YouTuber face off. Go check those out as well.
But still, 50% is crazy.
It is, you peasants. 10% of you are still in poverty. 10% of the people watching this video are poor. If you're not one of those stinky peasants, like this video. Like this video! Alright, you can carry on playing it now. What? Will you stop there, bro?
achieved self-sufficiency in rice production, a major accomplishment given the country's large population and the importance of rice as a staple food. The government implemented policies and programs such as the intensification of rice production and the use of high-yielding rice varieties, which played a vital role in boosting agricultural output. To look further into the data, according to USDA data, Indonesia's agricultural production grew from...
That's true. If you're a rice eater, subscribe to this video. Asia is the biggest rice producer and consumer in the world.
Yeah,
crazy.
15.7
What?
No, that was
billion dollars in 1967 to over 50.
I didn't hear you, Kasim.
$54 billion by 1996.
Sorry, I can't hear you. What did you say?
Thirdly, Suharto's government fostered an attractive environment for foreign investment by implementing business-friendly policies and establishing strong relationships with international organizations like the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and Asian Development Bank. These relationships and the influx of foreign investments contributed to economic growth. Fourthly, Suharto's government invested heavily in the country's infrastructure, including roads, ports, airports, and telecommunication systems. These investments were critical in facilitating economic growth by connecting Indonesia's many islands and remote regions, enabling the efficient transportation of goods and services. Moreover, the improved infrastructure attracted foreign investment, boosted tourism, and supported the growth of various industries across the country. And finally, during Suharto's rule, inflation under control, ensuring price stability.
Victor.
Did you see me search it up?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. The orange guy.
How did we think about this?
Because I look like him.
Yeah, but like you could have thought about anybody else.
Who else looks like this, bro?
I don't know, bro. But
I just can't get in the center of my screen. What is happening?
I just find it hilarious that like I was literally searching and you thought about the same.
Yeah, I know. Huh. He just comes to mind. Yeah, all right, let's get this Suharto guy over with.
Good play, bro.
All right, guys. Also, let us know in the comments whether you actually like Suharto, because he was also a dictator. So a little confusing here whether he was a good guy or a bad guy.
And boosting investor confidence. The government's monetary and fiscal policies, as well as its prudent management of public finances, contributed to maintaining relatively low inflation rates, which in turn supported economic growth and development. It has been observed that during Suharto's reign, Indonesia emerged as a model for third world development. The display of growth, relatively minimal social unrest, and the absence of military presence in the streets were enough to earn accolades in many parts of the world. However, much of our understanding of Suharto's rule is shaped by his development narrative. We have yet to fully examine how financial vulnerability and corruption revealed the hidden issues that his governance brought to Indonesia. Undeniably, the country experienced growth under his leadership, but it also encountered various challenges along the way. When the Asian financial crisis hit, Indonesia's economy collapsed, leading to Suharto's eventual downfall. The Asian financial crisis had a profound impact on Indonesia's economy, causing it to face a multitude of crises. First, the country experienced soaring inflation. Second, its foreign reserves continued to decline. Third, the value of the rupiah plummeted, dropping to 2,600 rupiahs per dollar to over 14,000 rupiahs per dollar. These issues were further exacerbated by Suharto's decision to favor his family and close associates. His choice to grant tax-free status to a high-profile national car project owned by one of his sons eroded the remaining support from key players in the Western establishment. This project was a blatant example of crony capitalism. Moreover, when the regional economic crisis hit Indonesia after August 1997, Suharto began to disregard the advice of the technocrats who had consistently guided the country through.
See those slaves? That's how he built the economy. Slaves.
They're not slaves.
Slaves.
They're not slaves, bro.
All the people that Bugatti didn't want, or whatever the guy from Somalia is. Mugabe.
Are you for real?
Mugabe. Look at him.
No, but are you for real? Are you actually like for real, or are you lying?
No, slaves. Slaves.
No. Are you for real? They're not slaves, bro. They're
Look at how happy he is. The first slaves to touch Indonesia's soil. Look at him.
Began to disregard the advice of the technocrats who had consistently guided the country through economic turmoil and maintained the government's credibility. In retrospect, these mistakes were Suharto's own doing. It wasn't until the sustained student protests that began in February 1998 that an effective opposition movement began pushing him out of power. After all, initial political protests in July 1996 were successfully suppressed, and a wave of violence targeting churches and Chinese-owned properties that same year was carefully extinguished without undermining Suharto's authority. When the time came for him to step down, it was ultimately his own decision. Neither the military...
Woo! Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Alright, so again, let me just rephrase. If you're not a stinky Indonesian peasant, like the video. If you hate China, or if you hate the Philippines, or if you hate Sugabe, or if you like Sugabe, or if you're alive and you're on Earth, like this video right now.
And subscribe. Subscribe is more important.
Only non-Indonesian peasants, stinky peasants, subscribe. If you don't subscribe, you're a stinky Indonesian peasant. Alright, stay tuned for the next video, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. What'd you say?
Share the video and the channel with your friends, family, grandma, aunt, kids, all of it. Just share it.
Yeah, share this video with a stinky Indonesian peasant so they know what they are. Share it with a stinky Indonesian peasant. That's your friend, and I know him. Otherwise, I'm gonna hack you, like hair school you, and I'm gonna come to you.
Guys, thank you for watching. Just goodbye.
Thank you for watching. I love you guys. See ya. Play the